Everyone and welcome. Today, we're diving into something truly beautiful, a way to transform your spiritual practice. We're talking about taking your reflection on the Quran and turning it into this act of creative devotion. You'll see how it can make your connection to the words feel so much more alive and so much more personal.
Seriously, just think about that for a second. What if your journal could actually be a place of worship? What if the simple act of putting a pen to paper wasn't just writing, but a way for your creative side and your spiritual side to meet and connect? That's really the heart of what we're getting into today.
Okay, so what is creative Quran journaling exactly? Well, think of it as this really mindful practice. You're using simple art, basic designs, a splash of color, maybe even just some thoughtful handwriting, to connect more deeply with the Quran. And the main thing to remember is, the goal here is not to create some kind of masterpiece. It's all about creating a deeper personal connection.
And this leads to a really powerful idea, actually. When you come to this creative process with the right intention, it completely transforms. It becomes a form of ibadah, a form of worship. It has absolutely nothing to do with being a professional artist. It's all about where your heart is pointed, and that's towards reflection.
And look, this practice is just for you. It's for your own spiritual journey, and no one else's. Think of it like a private conversation between you and the words of Allah. Your heart is the only audience that matters here, not your social media feed, right? The focus is 100% on that internal, personal engagement.
So to really get into this and embrace it, there are what I like to call 3 golden rules. And honestly, they're really just about giving yourself permission to let go of all that pressure, all that self-judgment. They're like your framework for freedom here.
Okay, rule number 1, and this is the big one. It's all about your intention, your niyyah. So before you even pick up a pen, your mindset should just be, I'm doing this to connect, to understand Allah's words a little better. That's it. That simple thought is what takes this from just being a hobby and elevates it into true worship.
All right, number 2, and please hear this. Reflection over perfection. Your lines might be wobbly, your colors could bleed a little. Who cares? It just doesn't matter. The real value, the real gold is in the process. The thinking, the feeling, the connecting with the verse, that's so much more important than a page that looks perfect.
And rule number 3 is all about consistency over complexity. Building a small, simple, repeatable habit, we're talking maybe 10 minutes a few times a week, is going to be way more powerful than trying to create one giant, super elaborate entry once a month. It's that steady rhythm, that gentle drip of reflection that really builds a strong, lasting connection.
Okay, let's get practical, shall we? I know what you might be thinking. Do I need to go out and buy a whole art store to do this? And the answer is a big, fat no. You absolutely don't. Let's take a look at the super simple toolkit you probably already have lying around the house.
See, the supplies are so simple. A plain old journal, a pen, maybe a highlighter, that's really all you need to start. And that pro tip is golden. Don't overwhelm yourself. Just start with one color and one super simple design element, like drawing a box around the verse. Keeping it simple is what keeps your focus where it needs to be, on the reflection.
Okay, so you've got your journal open. Now what? How do you even organize the page? A good layout can be a lifesaver, giving your thoughts some structure and helping you avoid that dreaded blank page paralysis. We've all been there. So here are a couple of really easy, proven ideas to get you going.
What's cool about these 2 layouts is how they actually guide your brain. With the verse and center one, your reflections literally circle around the verse, which is a neat way to think. The split page is awesome if you're more of a linear, organized thinker. Look, neither one is better than the other. It's all about finding what works for you and what helps you connect.
All right, so we've got the right mindset, we've got our super simple tools, and we've got a couple of layout ideas. Now for the fun part. Let's actually bring it all together and see what your very first entry could look like. We're going to walk through it step by step. See how manageable this is? It's just 4 simple steps. First, you write the verse. Then, you add the translation, so you know what it means. Then, and this is key, you write down one personal thought or question about it. And finally, you add that little artistic touch. Maybe it's just a simple frame or a little color. That last step kind of seals the reflection in your mind. It's like a whole mini meditation in 4 easy steps.
So why bother with all this? What's the real payoff? Well, the benefits are actually pretty profound. This isn't just about making pretty pages in a notebook. It's about becoming more mindful and present with the Quran. It helps you remember verses because you've created a visual link to them. It deepens that emotional connection to Allah's words. It can even become this beautiful, quiet exercise in patience, in sabr.
At the end of the day, that's what this is all about. Your creativity becomes a kind of bridge. It takes all those invisible thoughts and feelings swirling around in your head during reflection, and it gives them a physical form on the page. It makes that connection feel more real, more solid, and way more memorable.
Okay, so here's your challenge for this week. I really want you to try this. Don't just let this be a cool idea you heard about. Put it into practice. Just pick one verse that speaks to you, create one simple journal entry using your basic supplies, and then just see if you can do it a couple more times this week. Just 10 minutes. And then ask yourself, how might this one simple act of creative worship begin to change your relationship with the Quran?